there, this is the One Boom, and if you're an Insurgency console player, has this ever happened to you? Oh, fuck video games! Now, I don't normally make videos like this, but for a Sandstorm, I want it to do well on console, and it's not going to do well if people are having trouble even aiming, so what we have here are my favorite settings that have made Insurgency Sandstorm's console release feel really good, and saying Insurgency Sandstorm's console release challenges every Midwestern bone in my body. So the first thing you have to know about is sensitivity. The lower your sensitivity in this game, surprisingly, the harder it is to control recoil. But if your sensitivity is too high, it's going to be too easy to bring your barrel too low. There's no magic bullet guidance system in this game. Your bullets go wherever the barrel is pointed, and there's no auto reset on your recoil. If you tap fire your gun and it kicks up, it will not fall down automatically. So you're gonna have to find a sensitivity, and for me it's around a 2 to a 2.1, maybe you wanna go 1.9, something like that. That sensitivity will allow you to full auto a weapon and keep it in the middle of your screen. Any higher, and you're going to point your barrel at the ground, any lower, and you won't be able to keep the barrel down. This is a little frustrating, but then you'll also want to use a low aim down sight sensitivity and a slightly higher scope sensitivity. In my opinion, when you lower the scope sensitivity to be the same as the ADS sensitivity, because of the really narrow FOV when using a scope, I find it's just too slow. So to recap, you want your sensitivity not too high, not too low, play around with it so that you can control recoil. You might be looking for responsiveness, but what you want to be able to do is fire more than 2 bullets in a row without looking at a cloud or looking at the dirt. So tweak your sensitivity accordingly. Then when it comes to aim down sight and scope sensitivities, I would put your scope a little higher than your aim down sight because of that narrow FOV making it feel very claustrophobic with a low sensitivity, but that's up to you. Sensitivities are something you're gonna have to play around with. I originally enjoyed a 1 sensitivity, then 1.5, and then when I discovered how much easier it is to control recoil, with around a 1.9 to a 2.1, that's where I'm sitting now. You also want your control preset to be modern. If you play stuff like Call of Duty or Battlefield or any other console shooter, this is gonna feel way more at home for you. Modern is just a way more conventional preset, but again, this is up to your personal preference. This isn't gonna help your gameplay, it's just gonna help you transition into the world of Insurgency Sandstorm. And so that nobody walks in on you doing this.
I hate you!
The big thing here is the response curve. I recommend exponential. Exponential feels the best to me. This feels like Call of Duty. This feels like classic Battlefield. This just feels like any console shooter you've ever played, and that's a good thing. The other one I would say is maybe Dual Zone, but it's hard for me to recommend that one because it just feels a little bit fidgety when trying to do fine movements. I would say play around and figure out one works for you. Use linear if you'd like, but I genuinely think exponential is the most convenient for console players. It's going to be the easiest to transition to, and it's the most conventional feeling analog stick setting in the mix. Now, before we get to the main, most important setting that might be throwing a lot of people off, let me just quickly say I use a 98 FOV because I find that 100's a little too fish-eye, but 98 or 97 somewhere in there is just about perfect. Turn off motion blur so you can actually see people even when you're turning around in circles. And last but not least, you need to check this box and not this box. Scale sensitivity with FOV makes using scopes tolerable, otherwise they fly everywhere around the screen and you have to go in and change all of your aim down sight sensitivities and perfect the scope that way. No, just check this box and your scopes will feel more in line with any other sight, which will allow you to gain muscle memory a lot easier. If you're using drastically different sensitivities all over the place, then you're gonna have trouble getting that muscle memory down with your thumbs, so please check this box right here. Before we wrap up this video, I wanna say, practice makes perfect. You are not going to become a god at this game because of anybody's controller settings. This game might feel more conventional and tight if you use my settings here, but it's gonna be up to you to practice clearing rooms, figuring out what sensitivity feels good for that, taking on distant targets using different scopes. I recommend learning 1 or 2, maybe 3 guns, getting really good at them because they all feel different, and just go around the test range here and just clear rooms, check corners, shoot targets, practice controlling your recoil, keeping automatic fire in the middle of your screen as best as you can. I'm still kind of sucking at that, but no amount of settings are going to make me better. I have to practice and keep playing the game. So play online matches, play co-op, play local play, go in the test range, and you'll get better over time if you are interested in being good at this game. Again, it's gonna take time. I think this is one thing that gamers suck at when a new game comes out, is they expect to do well on launch night, and you have no reason to expect that. Once you're well practiced, confident, fed, hydrated, and well rested, then you can review the game. But if you just put it in for the first time, you can't expect it to be perfect. So anyway, see you when I see you. Goodbye. Hopefully these settings help you. If you have better settings, leave them in the comment section below for people to read. Now get out of here. Go play the game.